As Alfred Hitchcock would say, good eve. So I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight. And I just wanted to, before I just in 1 minute step off, I wanted to thank very much Daniel Costantino, who helped arrange this from the very beginning from our side, and Gerrie Colagini, who was working with us from the beginning as well, and Fer Westerman, who from the Dutch Embassy, who has helped to put this program together, in which we're going to have the Dutch Ambassador, Gerrie Willems, and a well-known cartoonist, Agim Krasniqi, give a talk, and after which you will then go and kind of try to practice what we will be preaching here today. And so, without any further ado, on my part, I'd like to introduce our president, Sharon Hart, Dr. Hart, who will say a few words in introduction of our major speaker. Thanks so much.
Good evening, everyone. We really appreciate your willingness to turn out this evening and to participate in this event. It's always an exciting time, that any time that we can have some wonderful community leaders who can come in here and spend time with us, but also even beyond community members, especially our international guests who live here in Kosovo, along with the rest of us, who really bring to the country a wonderful role and responsibility, in this case representing the Netherlands. We as an institution have been here now for approximately 13 years, serving Kosovo, and we have had a number of students who have entered our doors, who've gone on to bigger and better throughout this community and across the globe. We are so pleased that they have done that, and I think one of the things that we really try to do here is we try to expose students and community members to not only our own ideas that we can bring forward in the classrooms, but also to bring to we'll call it the platform or the stage up here this evening, an opportunity to hear from great experts, or in this case as well, great international leaders. So, Ankan Kanestimakan, Ambassador, we really appreciate having you here tonight. My name is Sharon Hart. I'd like to welcome you here to our institution, and I would like to, at this point, Ashley, please come on up, and you can provide us with your presentation tonight.
Wow, this is the biggest room full we've had so far, so thanks to all the organizers beforehand already. Mr. Krasniqi, who's in front here, and me, we are here today to talk to you about peace, justice, and the role of the Netherlands in this field. This lecture is part of the so-called Peace and Justice program, and allow me to first give you a brief introduction on this program. It's set up by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it is meant to spark a debate on what peace and justice actually means worldwide. It consists of a series of lectures by ambassadors at schools or universities on topics related to peace and justice. In this case, the ministry teamed up with the cartoon movement, an international network of professional political cartoonists. Together with the cartoon movement, the ministry organized a cartoon competition. And that resulted already in an exhibition that took place, or still takes place, at the Peace Palace in The Hague. I guess you're all familiar with that. And this exhibition has taken place, and it will travel through the Netherlands. But the cartoons that, are we going to have workshops for cartoons? Great. So the cartoons that come out of your group can still be involved in this exhibition. And we will further can tell you a bit about this later. Mr. Krasniqi is here today to talk about the important role of cartoons in the political debate. And I think all of us have an idea on what that can mean. Before going into peace and justice issues, let me tell you a bit on what the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs actually is doing. You may know that the Netherlands is a relatively small country, but with a big economy, and we therefore depend a lot on international cooperation and on trade. We have about 3.3 million visitors a year, travelers in this case. We have 2 million Dutch people living abroad. There are 200,000 Dutch companies working abroad, and Dutch companies, and about 80% of our GDP is deriving from export. So you can see that international relations are really very important to us. But apart from the money, we have some higher idealistic ideas as well. And in Dutch foreign policy, the promotion of human rights, development cooperation, rule of law, and good governance are a top priority. The promotion of the development of the international legal order is actually included in our constitution, which is rather unique in the world. I think Kosovo has it as well, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Moreover, each new government reconfirms this important objective. And in the coming years, we will focus on a number of the goals, the objectives I already mentioned. As far as the international legal order is concerned, the promotion and the acceptance of universal jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice is of course a priority, has been a priority, but it will remain a priority. And in general, of course, the peaceful settlement of disputes around the world. Furthermore, we want to contribute to the development of legal norms in the field of international criminal law. Last but not least, an important issue is also capacity building in the field of rule of law in a number of focus countries, and one of those countries is Kosovo. Which brings me to our cooperation in the Western Balkans, and specifically in Kosovo. Our embassy is focused on strengthening international legal order and respect for human rights, peace, security, and stability, and European cooperation. In practice, this means that our main focus is on European integration, everything that has to do with it, the SAA, implementation thereof, not just legislation, but really governments, businesses, NGOs getting down to the real work. And the other important issue, the other important priority is the rule of law. And I've said it, I haven't said it before, but most people think that rule of law only has to do with political issues, but you can imagine that if the rule of law in a country improves, it will definitely have an economic impact, because foreign companies will see that the judicial system in a country is in order, and that it's worthwhile to do business with that country. Why is peace and justice so important for Kosovo? First of all, economic development needs strong institutions. It needs a well-functioning rule of law to support the business climate. It's a fact that legal frameworks provide the foundation for all economic activities, whether it's money, property rights, contracts, transaction, access to justice in case things go wrong, or investment opportunities, but also welfare and the protection of employees against exploitation, against unfair competition. So investments and trade are impossible without legal certainties. You are familiar with the fact that Kosovo is on its road to further European integration. And as you know, the SAA has come into force as of the 1st of April, which means that work needs to be done. We have the laws, we have the regulations, we have the policies, we have the people, so now it's time for action and time for implementation. And all of that, and people tend to forget that sometimes, you know, the EU, they say that the EU is pushing some countries a bit too far because countries need time. But the reason why we are actually sometimes indeed reminding governments and NGO and businesses that work needs to be done is that we see that reforms are necessary. If a country doesn't go through the reforms, it will stay behind and it will get isolated. So if Kosovo really wants to continue to be involved in European integration issues or to be connected to the European Union, then these reforms are necessary. And let me be clear, with or without an NGO, with or without an SAA, these reforms are necessary. I think we can say that this country is a society also in transition. You are moving from one system to another system, and for true reconciliation, because that is also, of course, part of the history, for reconciliation to take place, also justice needs to find its way. Right, now we're coming to actually the topic of this evening, which is corruption, after a bit of an introduction. But allow me to clarify a few of the implications of corruption. I think it's kicking in open doors because you are probably familiar with it, but you know, it's one of the biggest issues in Kosovo's path towards European integration. And it has political implications. If corruption is not tackled, it will have political implications. First of all, corruption actually leads to an absence of political legitimacy. And political legitimacy is required for the functioning of democracy. The absence of legitimacy also leads to deterioration of faith and trust, especially among the citizens, but also among the government, of course, especially among government structures. The third point presents a big challenge in the fight against corruption. When corruption is highly present, it can become a gateway for individuals to increase their political power and to enter the political stage, therefore maintaining the persistence of corruption. And these three previous points lead me to a fourth issue, which is that corruption is problematic for the capacity of democratic governments. Apart from the political implications, corruption of course has economic implications, and I already mentioned a few, but let me summarize them. Corruption decreases economic security, both at a personal level but also at a business level. Another important point is that it decreases the attractiveness of a country for foreign businesses, and therefore for foreign direct investments. And that leads to a stagnation of economic development, given the presence of informal political and economic structures. And finally, corruption can lead to situations where infrastructure does not fit the actual requirements of the present and do not sufficiently consider future needs. The legal or judicial implications of corruption, they are there as well, next to the political and the economic consequences. First and foremost, corruption in itself, already its absence of political legitimacy leads to injustice. And people feel that, people see that, and people comment on that. And then I'm not even touching upon the criminal activities associated with corruption. The second point, am I still on track? Yes. The second point is a crucial one in the fight against corruption. Corruption in the political or justice system can lead to a situation where the judicial system does not function. And the reason why this is so important is that this development sickens the cure against corruption as well, a strong rule of law. To be able to tackle corruption in the short and the long term, a functional judicial system is not only desirable, it's a requirement. So, what do we from the Netherlands do to assist Kosovo in the fight against corruption and to assist Kosovo on its European path? First of all, we enhance the rule of law. This entails support to rule of law reforms, and we do that in four different ways. First of all, at the political level, we try, together with the EU and other international community members, we try to influence policies in Kosovo in the right way. Secondly, we have a program which allows us to implement, not huge, but some activities that hopefully will assist, and especially NGOs and sometimes government institutions to better perform their tasks and their obligations. One of these projects is a project related to good governance and actually integrity, and we are implementing that with the NGO VOL. You may have heard of it. They perform integrity scans, they publish them, so they are also available to the public. I'm leaving out the fourth aspect of our assistance. There are a number of Dutch experts working in Kosovo for relevant organizations. These experts are judges, but policemen as well. They train the Kosovo institutions in order to be able to take over responsibilities and to perform according to European standards. Yeah, a final and very important topic which I really should mention is public awareness and information on the issue of rule of law. It entails awareness about rights, because some people just don't know what their rights are in this society on labor laws, on well, contracts. And it involves also transparency. Transparency, especially from the government. We are really emphasizing with the ministers and the government that in our view they really should indicate to their citizens which way this country is going. Where is this country going to be in 5 or 10 years' time? What are you going to do for your citizens that want a job, want a decent health system, and that want good education for themselves and for their children? On this issue of public awareness, communication and transparency, we are implementing a rather big project together with the assistance of the Ministry of European Integration and the EU office, with 2 Kosovo NGOs, GLPS and PIPS. You may have heard of them. Okay, I assume that is a yes. Public support, in the end, public support for the SAA will help this country move forward on the European track. And I guess, looking at all of your faces, that's also what you want. And that's why you're here. I can go on for hours, but don't get me started on communication. I can go on for hours. But it's now the turn of Mr. Krasniqi to show us some of his cartoons and to explain also what he has in mind after the 2 introductions as for the workshops.
Okay, we came to funny part of introduction to the cartoon, I can say. Gerrie was very serious, she was talking too much. Sorry for my English because I don't know very well to talk English, but I will try to be clear in my introducing. Gerrie was talking too much, but we cartoonists, we are not talking too much. We just drive short. Even our driving is directly, with attacking the moments of the life, moments of the surrounding us, what we see around us, good things, then bad things, and we introduce to the drawing. Okay, I start like that, but I can say also this. You know that I'm Agim Krasniqi, I am civil engineer. Also, I was studying the high school of fine arts here in Kosovo, in Pristina. It was my hobby. I started to do the cartoons from my 13 years old when I started, and like that hobby I continued during my life. Okay, if I go through other things I don't want, then we will talk more about me than about the cartoon. So, the cartoon, or Albanian caricatura, came from word in Italian, caricatura. This gives the weight to the drawing. And this drawing is deformated drawing. In case to put you to smile on this. So we have, in that time, when they started to do the cartoons, it was the big artist Leonardo da Vinci who started with the cartoons. Also Annibale Goracci and Gian Lorenzo Bellini. These 3 were master, amazing cartoonists, which were following the situation in the country and put the funny part of that on the paper. So they, in this way, they start to criticize the social things in that time. For cartoon, we can say that cartoon we divide in 2 plays, and it is with the words and without the words. So caricatura or cartoon is like one roman, like one book. If you have only one small drawing, you can imagine about it, talk about it, and it is too like romance. So in a way, we have with the world, without the world. Then we have cartoon which is local. It seems only for the local place, and then cartoon for the international. In the international places where everybody can understand. In a way, when they are without the words. With words, they are more local and not so strong. More stronger are without the word because the guy in China can understand this cartoon, or in the America or in Vietnam, I don't know. When they saw the picture, they know about what is talking. So cartoon is divided also for the social, political, gay cartoon, it can be street cartoon, and don't go erotic and black humor. So all these kind of cartoons, they exist, and cartoons are following the situation in one country, all good things and bad things. So the cartoonists have a duty to find the bad things and put on the board, so the people can see what is bad or what is good. I know, as Napoleon Bonaparte was saying, I was fighting with the many arms, but I didn't lose from the soldiers, I lose from the one cartoonist. It was from England, James Gerrie. He said, I lose the fighting from the cartoonist. So, in the cartoon you can see also, you have irony, satire, sarcasm, grotesque, all these things you can have on the cartoon. So, cartoon, if you introduce some situation, you should show it by symbols. Usually the symbols are main thing that give you the idea what is doing on the cartoon and what is going to be up and down. Exactly. So I will introduce here how I work cartoon. Very simple. I start with the pen, and after the pen, I go with the tush, and then I start to color it with a very simple pens. It is the color from the wooden pencils. So here is the section where I show how it goes step by step. So the same situation, but you have at the end this colored, which is finished. But also I don't know if you cannot feel it. I have here the works which are most strong and most, you see. Here you can say, I can say this is the moment when I present man and technology. This is out of the tema, but it shows that we are all alone somewhere in the ocean, and we communicate with each other by the phone. We came to the peace and justice, which is very important, and I'm showing here very short, small, direct cartoon, which use the symbols. It is the wooden scale. Then how we call this spat. Sword, huh? Yes, sword. So in a way, and we have the peace, symbol of the peace. It is the peace bird, and they are putting peace and justice between peace bird and corruption, because the symbol of the corruption is this envelope with the money, and sometimes it is more stronger than the other. I see now after this, it is one cartoon about the corruption, where you can see that something is moving there. Usually, if you see the situation in our country, there are something doing. These judges, they are doing bad things, and so crimes don't cross, because there is something bad doing, you know. In a way, this is happening, and we don't need too much to talk, because one cartoon like that is one roman, and it comes from the beginning, after the war until now. What is happening in Kosovo, you can see through one simple cartoon. Also, we have here the naked justice, open everything. But even sometimes happens many things wrong. Okay, we come to the corruption, the way how to get the money. It is very interesting. And doctor find the way. He is scared and he put the. You see, he just show how money he put in his pocket, because the guy don't see very well. Okay, we have here, the cartoons are talking about the peace. We have, I have enough done with this tema. So here the summary, there are some of the cartoons which I bring here. They are in small format, because if I start now to present every cartoon, it will be more my reclam about my work, not about the justice which Gerrie is presenting. So we have, the tema is there. We have, for example, this cartoon up. We are trying to put the corruption in the grave. We have many moments for the corruption also, for the peace, who is bringing the peace. For example, wrong persons, they can be connected for with the persons directly. You know, in our world it was many, how you can say it, nickname, many nicknames. Somebody calls like this bird, black bird, somebody another, and so who bring what bring. It is philosophy, more than philosophy, and then man should more think about that. Also the justice, you see the symbol of justice, they are taking jail. There are many wrong things happen, but I hope, with the help of we are going forward with these problems, I hope. Now, we were talking about some kind of workshop. There are the guys who knows to drive very well, some of them, which are here with the professor. In a way, we will, as you say, we will go to another room, and then if somebody has some idea about the cartoon, it is good to present to the students, and all together we will try to do some cartoons here for the exhibition, which will be in Netherlands, in Hague. But we will try to see, we will want to see how is your pen working, hand working, how is your idea, are you strong on this? And I hope if you have a little bit wish to do the drivings and to start to make a cartoon, you will live with the cartoon as me. I start with 13 years old when I start with the cartoon, and still I am doing the cartoons. It is my life. I like it. And also it is big responsibility, because you can, with the cartoon, you can punish too much people. You saw what happened in France, how many cartoonists were died for one cartoon. You saw in the other places where the one guy is, for example, for the ears closed in one country and he cannot go out, he's cartoonist, and he's under the supervising from the bad people who want to kill him because he's cartoonist. So I can say the cartoonist also is responsibility to do something, and when you do something, you should work to be soft. We say Cześć and Cześć in Albania. It is a smile and push and beat. You know. So we are cartoonists like that. We are smiling, pushing to smile, and beating, even to show the mistakes which we are doing. Okay, then I will wish if we can pass to the other rooms. But if somebody has some questions, And if somebody has some idea about the cartoons, I will ask. For example, I can say, I saw just for the second, when I go in the corridor, the guys, the boys with the cartoons, they were drawing some cartoons, and they come here, and I saw one cartoon with the 3 monkeys. Who did the cartoon? 3 monkeys. Nicely.
Oh, do you see their cartoon?
No, just to see this cartoon, if just about the idea I know. It is 3 monkeys I saw, just bricks I saw. That's all.
Okay, this is
So,
a quick one.
I saw it very quickly. It was done from this lady's building. So, good idea. But for this, in my mind came another idea. We are talking about the peace and justice. So, why don't we put the uniform of the judge to that? This is idea. If we put the uniform of the judge, this is the great part. Same thing. Now, please. I hope that all of you, if you saw something around, recognize, you can immediately react and find the idea. Even she didn't mean for that, to put the uniform. This is very good, putting the money in the, you see, she put the ears with the money, eyes with the money, all with the money. But put the judge uniform, it is fantastic.
First place.
Yeah. Okay, then,
Okay, well, let's, so,
yeah, okay, if you don't have any question or something, do you have some idea? For the moment, no, but whatever. We go to the other room all together, and
room
then,
401.
You guys first.
and then we see who will do something or
Yeah, I love it.